There are moments in life when we pray with urgency, expecting a clear sign, a miracle, a voice, a sudden breakthrough. But instead, we are met with silence. Not the absence of God, but something deeper, more subtle. It's in this silence that the divine often speaks the loudest. You begin to sense something invisible moving behind the scenes. It's not in the way the world looks, but in how it feels. The atmosphere around you shifts, almost imperceptibly. The noise of doubt lowers, and a strange stillness enters your heart. It's as if the universe is holding its breath, waiting. Joseph Murphy taught that your subconscious is the gateway to the divine. When your prayers align with true belief, the universe doesn't always respond with thunder. It often responds with silence, sacred, powerful silence, because it is already in motion. Your vibration has been received. The answer is unfolding quietly. This silence is not empty. It's an echo. It's God whispering back through the unseen, rearranging the very fabric of your reality to meet your request. But only those who are tuned inward will feel it. And that's the mystery. The more inward you go, the clearer the silent answer becomes. When nothing seems to be happening in your external world, that's often the precise moment when everything is shifting internally. Stillness is not inactivity. It's spiritual alignment. According to the principles of vibration and the teachings of Joseph Murphy, the outer world is a mirror of your inner frequency. If your prayer was sincere and emotionally charged, it has already been impressed upon your subconscious, and the subconscious never rests. You may look around and see the same routine, the same people, the same delays. But beneath that familiar surface, a reordering is underway. Just like a seed germinates in darkness, unseen but active, the answer to your prayer is taking shape in silence. It's in this phase that faith is tested, because the absence of visible change often tricks the mind into believing nothing is working. But the truth is, this stillness is full of vibration. It's the universe tuning itself to the new frequency you've emitted. Joseph Murphy emphasized that the subconscious reacts to emotion, belief, and repetition. Once aligned, the vibration ripples outward, magnetizing the conditions, people, and events needed to fulfill what was asked. This moment is not for forcing. It's for allowing, not for chasing, but for receiving. The more you fight the silence, the more you delay the answer. But when you embrace it, when you stop measuring time and start trusting vibration, the process accelerates. The unseen becomes seen, but only after you've accepted that stillness is not a void. It's the divine at work. Something begins to feel different. You're not sure when it started, but there's a calmness inside you that wasn't there before. The anxiety that once clung to your prayers like a shadow starts to dissolve. There is no sudden miracle, no angelic voice, just a subtle shift within. And that is one of the most overlooked signs that your prayer has been heard. Joseph Murphy described peace as a divine indicator. When your subconscious accepts a belief as truth, resistance begins to fall away. And as resistance melts, peace takes its place. This is not the peace that comes from external security, but the deep, quiet knowing that something beyond your control is being taken care of. This inner stillness is not accidental. It's the emotional evidence of spiritual movement. Even before the results manifest in the outer world, your inner world starts to reflect the alignment. Your heart is lighter, your breath deeper, your nights more restful. You begin to walk through uncertainty with unexpected confidence, Not because everything is resolved, but because you finally trust that it will be. This peace doesn't need validation. It doesn't need proof. It stands on its own as a sign that the vibration of your prayer has been accepted. Joseph Murphy called this the feeling of the answered prayer. It's not just a phase of waiting, it's part of the answer itself. Because when you feel peace, you're already living in the frequency of the fulfillment. Just when you thought you were close to the answer, something shifts, and not in the direction you expected. A job opportunity falls through. A relationship ends. Plans you were certain about suddenly collapse. On the surface, it feels like life is working against you. But look deeper. This disruption may be the very sign that your prayer is being answered. Joseph Murphy often spoke of divine order, the unseen intelligence that orchestrates life beyond our logic. When your subconscious accepts a new belief or intention, the outer world must realign itself to reflect that inner shift. And sometimes that means things must fall apart before they can fall into place. These detours aren't punishments, they're corrections. You may have been walking toward a version of your desire that wasn't aligned with your highest vibration. The universe, operating with precision, redirects you. And because you can't yet see the full picture, it feels like loss. But in truth, it's preparation. You prayed for growth, for love, for abundance. But that version of abundance may require a different version of you. So the old patterns, the comfort zones, the illusions of control, all must dissolve. It's disorienting, but it's also sacred. Because beneath the chaos is construction, spiritual architecture reworking the blueprint of your life. Trust the detours. They're not deviations from your prayer. They are the answer, hidden, inconvenient, and divinely timed. Let go of how you thought it would look. The universe is building something greater than you imagined, piece by unseen piece. Without warning, people close to you begin to shift. Their words resonate deeper. Their attitudes soften or grow distant. Some relationships become lighter, others simply fade. These aren't random social fluctuations. They're echoes of the spiritual vibration you released. When you pray and align your inner world, the outer begins to respond, including the people around you. Joseph Murphy taught that the subconscious not only influences your body and mind, but also communicates vibrationally with the universe. That includes people. They become participants in the unfolding of your prayer, often without realizing it. A stranger offers unexpected kindness. A conversation brings sudden clarity. Or someone challenges you, revealing what you still need to release. These subtle changes are messages, not in words, but in presence. When someone starts treating you differently, it may be a sign that your energy, your vibration, has shifted. You're no longer resonating with what you used to tolerate. Your inner request is causing an outer rearrangement. Sometimes these echoes come through conflict, not to harm, but to reveal. You're being shown what no longer aligns. Other times, help arrives from places you didn't expect. New people enter, old ones return, changed, or someone simply says something that unlocks a truth within you. Pay attention. These are not coincidences. They are responses. This is how the divine moves, not always through dramatic miracles, but through ordinary people acting as vessels for extraordinary timing. You asked. The universe is answering. Through the faces and voices you encounter every day, you start noticing numbers that repeat. A phrase you thought of appears in a book you randomly open. A name you silently held in prayer suddenly shows up in conversation. These are not tricks of the mind. They are whispers from the invisible, signatures of the divine. Joseph Murphy referred to this as mental embodiment. When a desire is fully impressed upon your subconscious, reality begins to echo it back in fragments. Synchronicities are not coincidences. They are signs of vibrational alignment, the universe confirming that you've tuned yourself to a frequency where response becomes inevitable. These signs don't scream, they nudge. They often arrive just when doubt begins to creep in, as if to say, "Keep going. You're closer than you think." This language is not linear. It's symbolic, intuitive. A feather on your path. A song that plays at the exact moment your heart questions. A sudden inspiration to change direction. Each moment may seem small, insignificant even, but collectively, they create a mosaic of spiritual affirmation. Joseph Murphy emphasized the importance of listening with the heart, not just the ears. These signs aren't there to be explained. They are there to be received. The more you pay attention to them without overanalyzing, the more frequently they appear. And the more they appear, the more confident your inner self becomes. The response to your prayer may never come with lightning, but it may come through a pattern, a gentle, divine sequence woven into your everyday life. When you start seeing life through this lens, the ordinary becomes sacred, and silence becomes full of messages. After all the prayers, affirmations, and signs, there comes a moment when you're invited to let go. Not because you've given up, but because you've finally understood. The answer is not something to chase. It's something to allow. Joseph Murphy spoke of this surrender as the highest expression of faith, when the conscious mind stops grasping and the subconscious takes full control. Letting go is not passivity. It's an inner knowing that your request has been heard and is being fulfilled in perfect timing. This detachment doesn't mean disinterest. It means no longer resisting. You're no longer asking when or how. You're simply being. Being in the vibration of what you asked for, acting as if it is already so. The paradox is powerful. The moment you stop needing it, the answer accelerates. Why? Because your energy is no longer vibrating with lack or urgency. It's vibrating with completion. The subconscious, free from contradiction, begins to manifest with precision. That is when divine order steps in, the unseen orchestration beyond your control, but not beyond your alignment. In this space, you're no longer chasing signs. You've become the sign. Your life begins to reflect the very thing you released. People sense your shift. Opportunities unfold without force. Peace deepens. And it's not because you pushed harder. It's because you finally trusted enough to stop pushing. Letting go is not the end of the prayer. It is the final step in becoming its answer. The silent agreement between your soul and the universe. It is done. And then, one day, almost unnoticed, you realize something has changed. Not in a dramatic flash, but in the quiet unfolding of your life. You look back and see the rearrangements, the moments of peace, the nudges, the redirections, and you understand the prayer has already been answered. It was happening all along, just not in the way you expected. This is the mystery of divine response. It rarely announces itself. It doesn't need applause or confirmation. It integrates into your reality so gently that it feels natural, as if it was always meant to be. And that's because it was. Joseph Murphy taught that true manifestation aligns so seamlessly with your belief that when it arrives, it no longer surprises you. It matches you. You begin to live from a place of gratitude, not just because you received, but because you were guided every step, even through the silence. You start to understand that the silence was never a void. It was sacred space. A field where the vibration of your prayer was growing roots, reshaping your path from the inside out. There's a maturity in this kind of revelation. You no longer need signs to believe. You believe because you've lived the process. You've seen how the invisible becomes visible, how surrender becomes strength, how stillness becomes soundless movement. This understanding becomes part of who you are. You now carry a knowing, not just that your prayers are heard, but that the universe is always responding, silently, precisely, lovingly.